We've gone global, guys. Who is happy with this challenge going around about egusi soup? I guess the world is just catching up late with this delicious African soup. So in today's video, I will share how to prepare authentic, mouth-watering Nigerian egusi soup. And fortunately, this is my favorite soup, and I would say I'm a pro when it comes to making egusi soup. Also, I will share how to make fufu, which goes so well with this soup. So let's just go ahead and get started. Alright, so what are the ingredients? Well, it all depends on you, like whatever meat you like. As for me, I like using assorted meats like chicken drumsticks, stockfish, and dry fish, which can be purchased from any African store. Then I like to add some beef, cow foot, and neck bone. Like it all depends on whatever it is you want to use to make your egusi soup. You guys, like I said, a lot of people prefer to just stick with one type of meat, but if you're an African, especially Nigerian, you guys know we like mixing different meats when we are cooking our soup. So that is exactly how I like to make my own egusi soup. Okay, so first step is to go ahead and season your meat, and I always love to use onion. You can cut it up in small chunks. Onion is actually a very good seasoning spice when it comes to egusi soup, and it also helps to bring out the taste. Also, I will add some adobo seasoning. Just use any seasoning of your choice and then bring it to a steam. So I would usually just leave it on the stove to steam for probably 20-30 minutes. But while I'm waiting on that, you always have to check it to make sure, it still has some stock. And when I'm steaming my stock for my egusi soup or for any soup at all, I don't like adding water to it. I just, spice it and just put it on the stove to steam, so that way it will just kind of produce stock by itself. So you just continue to check on the meat to get it to the tenderness you want. It all depends. I know some people like really soft meat, while others like maybe medium cooked. So it all depends on how cooked you want your meat to be. But for me, I usually leave it on for maybe 30 to 45 minutes so that the whole meat will be properly done. So now is the time to get on to the business of the day, and here are the ingredients you're gonna need. This is actually egusi. This is the main ingredient for this soup, guys, and this is egusi. This is actually the granulated one. I've already blended it. It actually comes in a seed, but then when you blend it, it's gonna look exactly like this. And then there's another ingredient I also like to make my egusi soup with, and this is called xoxo. This is actually what is gonna help with making the egusi look really thick and very it makes it look egg-like. You can always purchase it from any African store of your choice. And then I have crayfish, palm oil, and also I like to use red bell pepper. What is this pepper called? Is it habanura pepper? Oh, you guys know what I'm talking about. And then some onion. When it comes to choice of vegetable, I like to use some spinach and also kale for my egusi soup. Okay, so I want to make sure I haven't been using kind of and in this voiceover, because you guys know that's like my favorite word. I like to use kind of, like. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut up my red bell pepper, add it into the blender and just blend it. And also when it comes to blending, you can blend it anyhow you want, but for me, when I'm blending my pepper, especially when I'm cooking a soup, I don't like to blend it to kind of a fine blend. I like it to have a little bit of pieces inside. I don't like it being very smooth. That's like the exact word to use for it. And once I'm done with that, I'm going to bring my pot, add some red palm oil inside, and then I'm going to cut up some onion and also add into the pot. And you want to stir in the onion and probably fry it a little bit. Like, you don't want to fry it until the red oil bleaches, you know. You just want to fry it just a little bit. I would say maybe 3 to 5 minutes, and then go ahead and add your blended red bell pepper and also haberuna pepper, and then you want to leave it to kind of dry out the water. You want the water from the pepper to dry out a little bit. As you all can see, it's still, you know, when you're turning it, you would notice that there's still water in it. You just probably fry it for, I would say, 10 to 15 minutes. Before then, you go ahead and add your egusi. And doing it this way helps a lot with making sure your egusi is not raw. I hate it when I'm eating egusi soup. I can taste the rawness of the egusi inside my soup. Just take your time and make sure you stir in everything. Just make sure you turn everything so that the oil is gonna saturate all with the egusi. And now I'm gonna go ahead and add the xoxo I told you guys about. This is kind of a spice that is gonna make the egusi very, very thick. You know, when you go ahead and finish up the egusi, you will notice that everything is gonna be all together. I don't like it when I'm done cooking my egusi. It's gonna kind of look as if the water is separated from the egusi. What this spice actually does is it helps with making the egusi come together and look really, really rich and thick. Oh my gosh, you guys don't even know the struggle of me trying not to use kind of, and and like, oh geez, this is really, really difficult. Like, you guys, okay, I'm back to like, all right, so over here I just went ahead and added my stock and also my meat inside the egusi pot. As you all can see, it's just this is exactly how I like to do it, you guys. I know some people like to do it the other way around, where they add the egusi inside the stock. But the reason I like to add my stock inside the egusi is so that it will be easier for me to control how much of the stock I'm adding into the egusi. I don't like it when I'm done cooking my egusi. I don't like it being too watery. So adding the stock inside the egusi will help me control how much of the stock I'm adding into my egusi. I'm not sure if that makes sense, but that is exactly what I'm doing here. Okay, so once I'm done adding in my stock, I'm gonna go in and add some crayfish. This is the crayfish I just added here, the grounded crayfish. And then once you're done with that, you can then go ahead and put on whatever seasoning you want, whether you want to use your salt, your nut cube, and then go ahead and add your vegetable. And you guys, as you can see, there is nothing much about making egusi soup, you guys, like, but this actually tastes so good. Oh, egusi soup is my favorite. It's not even one of, it's my favorite soup, you guys. And as you all can see, this is it. Like, it's hot and is boiling, like it's going. Of course, I'm going to also show you guys how I make my fufu, because this egusi soup is also actually egusi soup. You can eat it with some rice. You can eat rice and egusi soup, and also you can eat your egusi soup with fufu. And when it comes to fufu, this is the fufu I like to use, the ola authentic pounded yam. You can use any some people also use plantain, but this one is pounded yam. And yeah, for the fufu, all you need to do is bring your water to a boil. As you all can see, it all depends on the measurement you want to make. For me, I'm just making 1 cup of the fufu, because 1 cup, actually, this actually rises. Did I just use actually 2 times? Well, this actually rises a lot. So I would say it depends. Like, for me, we're a family of 5, although my son is not eating yet, but 4 of us, I, my husband, and the twins. 1 cup of fufu or 1 cup of pounded yam is actually, perfect. That's the perfect size I always make. So it all depends on the size you want to make, but just go ahead, add your fufu inside the water and then stir it. And as you all can see, what I just did here is I went ahead and added a little bit of water into my fufu, and you probably leave this on for 5 minutes because you want to make sure the fufu is done. You don't want to eat raw fufu. And of course, when you go ahead and turn it, you can see it's a little burnt at the bottom, but it's all okay. Whenever I make fufu, this happens all the time, so don't be alarmed if this happens to your pot. But yeah, just go ahead and soak it up once you're done with making the fufu, and that is basically it, you guys. So I would say making your fufu should take you probably 8 to 10 minutes, and that is all there is to this video, my loves. I hope you all enjoyed, and please don't forget to hit that like button below if you did, and also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And till my next video, I will see you all very, very soon. Bye.